Hello and welcome to episode 18 of our Timberborn Update 7 Iron Teeth Project 1K playthrough here in cycle 28, day 26. 7.8 days left in our current bad tide. Last episode we got a lot of little stuff done and started the process of getting this corner excavated, hollowed out, whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead, let's hit pause real quick. You guys caught some stuff that I somehow missed, and one of them that a lot of you pointed out was this piece of tunnel right here is currently in a spot that needs to be a support pillar. So that's gone. We're not going to have to worry about that. Thank you very much for pointing that out. It would have been catastrophic if that had been removed. But, you know, other stuff we also kind of got to. I guess I can have this on regular speed now. I did start placing down some tiny two-way stations, and it was revealed to me that it would be much better if this is through a comment, not like some divine intervention or something, but if we had overhangs, instead of paths all the way through here, we could plant some more bushes. So I think what's going to make sense, take a look at these. I did kind of plan this out a tiny bit. If we instead put overhangs, say, I guess I have to have this up one more level, put overhang here so that this tiny two-way station can actually be on ground level, and then have the tubes going above it, then what that's going to allow us to do is to just have these guys intersect like so, and this lines up so perfectly, I couldn't believe it. Like, look at that. So we'll have a tiny two-way station there, 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 and there. And obviously once everything else gets excavated, this is going to look a whole lot nicer. But I was just so surprised to see that that was going to line up absolutely perfectly like this. And I think that's going to be great. So we're going to let them do that. And in the process, you know, fix all of this mess, take these guys out because they're not even useful right now anyway. But I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way at the very start so you guys could see how neat of an idea that was. But besides that, we're going to be continuing slowly, not all in one episode, but excavating the rest of this. And based on the comments you guys had about the layer divisions and everything, I don't think we're going to need to have two entire layers full of oak trees, coffee bushes, and blueberries. I think if we manage to do this correctly, I can just have one layer with oak trees on it for wood. If we have enough storage, like, because we're not going to be doing bots. I'm going to try really hard not to do bots. So our wood consumption is not going to be super high in the end game. In fact, it's probably going to be minimal, whatever it takes to run a couple of engines probably. But we're going to need a lot of it to build the map, so we do still have to have pretty good production, but in the endgame it's not going to matter that much. So instead of having two layers that are 3 tall, what if we just had this one that was 3 tall, and I know we've already excavated some of this, it's going to have to get redone, but that's okay, because we're learning, and we're trying to do something that makes sense. If we just had the rest of these be 2, so we have this 1, 3, we had this one be 2, this one be 2, and then we could have like one layer, or maybe 2 layers of 1 tall. People haven't quite agreed on the amount in the comments, but lots and lots of helpful stuff that I always do appreciate. But if we just go ahead and try to do 2 layers of 2 and 2 layers of 1 to start out with, see where that gets us, and then regroup from there, I think that's going to be our best option. So that is going to require a little bit of, you know, redoing, I suppose you could say. So like this right here, all of this is going to go away, and that is going to mean that this... Oh, I'm at the wrong angle to be doing this. This bit here that's already, you know, exploded is going to be fine, and then all I have to do is... Okay, well, that's going to be kind of annoying to pop in, but it can be done. It can be done. It will be done, so on and so forth. But just so you can have an idea of what it is that I'm going for, I figured I would try to explain it. And then I'm not going to make you sit through all this. I'm going to time-lapse the rest of me fixing this. Yes, the camera will move. No, there's nothing I can do about it. That's just the way it goes. But I'm going to try to get these taken care of so we can get a move on and get a couple more things accomplished and make the most of our time today. So appreciate your patience for that. And let's see how this turned out. Alright, so that is the end of the bad tide. I went ahead and stopped here because I wanted to show you guys something relating to how we're going to be building this while they are, you know, still working on all of this stuff. It's a big task. Don't make me say it. I'm going to say it anyway. It just takes time. But lots of really good comments, as I said before. I think the strategy for us moving forward is going to be to try and do 1/4 of the map at a time. Now, before we go any further, I do really need to make sure that I don't bust into this side of the reservoir. I just had that thought. So let's peel this back. Just make sure. Okay, we're good. I thought I had taken care of that, but, you know, it's very easy to forget and accidentally empty the entire thing, and I didn't want that to happen. But what I went ahead and did is all of these tunnel placements go to the middle of this side of the map, which is right here, at which point this becomes pillars, so on and so forth. I didn't go all the way into the middle here because we have the reservoir in the way. But I think because so much stuff is going to have to be moved, and because this is already growing crops, I don't really want to mess with that. I think it's going to be easiest to build this up to the quote-unquote final level of dirt, at least, and then start farming here, start relocating some other stuff, and do as much as we can on a corner before we start messing with something else. So that is today's goal. I'm not going to promise, but today's goal is to get this corner taken care of, at least terraformed up, and start planting food, because that's going to mean we can tear this corner out, do the same thing, so on and so forth. So there again, they're still working on that, but let's come back down here to the very bottom. And now we have all of these platforms here. Since we have the paths underneath, this is a great time for us to go ahead and put in all of these regular tubeways. Just let them build those. I haven't put something here because this is going to interact with the ladder in a way I don't really want to right now. But we can go ahead and put all of those guys in while the paths are still there, and then we can start chopping that up. Just let them do what they're going to do. This will continue around, well, not the entire perimeter of the bottom because, well, that's going to be taken up with some stuff over there. But this is going to be a good start for us to just get everything more or less taken care of. Got a lot of coffee bushes, got a lot of blueberries. Everything is looking pretty good, except our farming isn't quite keeping up with cassavas and eggplants. But remember, that the goal today is to be able to farm over here, which is going to include decoupling this water source tower right here. And obviously that is something that is going to just take time. So we have all of this storage here, which has been really, really good for the first, well, I don't even know how far through the playthrough we are yet, but this all has to move because this has to be stacked up. So let's just take stock of what we have. We have at least, well, just going by this, we have at least 1,200 storage for every food we are currently planning to use. Some have more. And we have, for every raw thing, we have at least one large storage. So we're currently producing corn, eggplant, fermented cassavas, and fermented soybeans. That's our crops we're working on right now. And of course we have the canola that has to be used to make the fermented soybeans and the eggplant, so on and so forth. So I'm not going to keep all of this storage available yet, but because we are trying to do this quadrant, I'm going to relocate these just right here, because this is a space that has access pretty easily to what else we have working on. We just have to move the path one piece over, which I will go ahead and do up to, I guess just right here. That'll work fine. Let's grab the path deletion tool, get that out of there. Those guys will just mosey their way on back where they need to go. And I'm just going to make this super simple. Pop those in there. This can be for the finished... Actually, let's pause this. This will be easier. Finished foods. Again, we have the corn rations. We have eggplant rations. We have fermented cassavas. We have fermented soybeans. And then... Actually, let's put the fermented corn. Let's put the corn rations at this end. Let's put the canola seeds here, because these are going to. This is going to be closer to our food stuff, and that has to be pressed. And I don't think it's really going to matter that much, but it is what it is. So this up here, second layer, super easy to take care of. Let's just go ahead and pop the berries in here, because that's going to be, I guess. Actually, no, that's not. This is closer here, but oh, those have to move too. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Anyway, ignore me. Ignore me as I'm saying what I'm doing that you absolutely should not ignore. It's just a... anyway. raw cassava, raw soybeans, and then raw corn right here. Super simple. We will just go ahead and, well, okay, the empty ones I can just delete. We already know that's a thing. Mangrove fruits, we're not even growing anymore. That's done. These guys have to empty. We have so much storage for all this, but let's just go ahead, empty out all of these things. They will be transplanted accordingly. Just gonna take some time. Let's also not forget we have these little tiny storages that we're almost certainly not going to be able to fully empty. But I think that's all of these set to empty. And, well, this doesn't have to move, but all this has to do is get built, and we're going to be in good shape. Let's just put in some ladders on the end, which I guess I could just do like that. Should be okie dokie. Pop that there, pop that there, pop that there, pop that there. Set it to triple speed and have them build this, which is going to have to be prioritized, so let's just do that. Now, you might notice that planks seem to be in short supply. Let me assure you, they are not in short supply. We just have a ton of them here. So part of what's happened is I kind of built myself into a corner because I do have to put the terrain blocks in here. And they haven't... Okay, I'm going to have to peel this back so I can just show you. They haven't placed those yet. And I laid them out in such a way where they have to build from this side, and they haven't been able to do that. And it is, dare I say, just going to take some time. So let's super prioritize these so they can get built, so then I can remove all of these platforms, and then they can use the platforms to build all this mess. And then that's going to be a very, very slow but good relocation effort here. This is doing what it's supposed to be doing. That's fine. We have plenty of water. I did, during the time-lapse, if you caught that, build another builder's hut because we had to have, you know, all the beavers employed, as one does. But I'm going to go ahead now, again, since these are all... oh, that's the wrong button. Advanced breeding pods. I'm just going to plop down... Let's just put... How many do I have? I have 6. Let's just put 6 here. They can all get born at the same time. It does not matter because they are adult breeding pods, advanced breeding pods, so on and so forth. And then these can just get pulled out whenever. Just gotta let them do what they're gonna do. But first, let's just click that button a whole bunch of times because I know you guys love that. They are just joking with. They have a lot of this terrain taken care of here. I think it was somebody left a couple of you left comments like if you alt. There's some sort of click thing. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I'm bad at you know, remembering. But I know Alt and scroll just lets you use the mouse wheel. I thought like Alt and like middle click or something middle click would automatically change that, but I don't remember what it was. Don't kill me. It's just it is what it is. So hopefully they'll be able to take care of that pretty soon. I do think I can safely, judging by the stuff that is currently built, go ahead and get rid of... oh wait, I didn't want them around the... I didn't want them around this. I was going to have that stay as a... stay as platforms. Okay. That's a bit of a drag. Because guess what I got to do? Wait, why can't I... why can't I put a tunnel here? Oh, because there's nothing beneath it. All right. Again, bear with me, folks. I'm trying. I really am. This is not my finest moment here. But I should. Boy. Yeah, that's just what that's gonna be. As we continue down the insane path that we find ourselves in. I've got this layer and this layer, this bottom layer here actually... See, here I am saying, oh, well, I got this all figured out, everything's going to be just fine, and then I, you know, forget that everything is not going to be just fine. Why can I not... Oh, because there's nothing there. Okay, that's got to get decoupled, which means... See, I really should have done this before, but is what it is. I'm going to leave these as single platforms because that is the most modular solution we can have. I can delete any given platform without really affecting too much else above it. Or I can put paths, or I can integrate something else. This would actually be a great place to have a vertical tubeway. I'm just now realizing. Okay, well that's going to be easy enough to put back in later. I'm trying. I really am. It's a whole thing. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I know this is like the king of the time-lapse nonsense here, but I'm just going to time-lapse this, let them do a little bit more building, move the camera a tiny bit so you can see a little bit more stuff getting put in so we can take care of as many problems as possible. Get this situated to where I can talk about what's going to be next without us having to wait, and I think that's going to go a whole lot better. You guys do seem to have a preference for the videos to stay around the hour mark, and I have a preference personally to get a whole bunch of stuff done, so the time lapses are the best way to do that. And also, at least a couple of you said you don't want to see me placing dynamite for 45 minutes, so we're going to avoid that. And try to streamline that process as much as we can. Because the fun part of doing this playthrough is talking about and theorizing and figuring out how to solve all of these problems that we've imposed upon ourselves. Not necessarily, you know, sitting there watching me click so much. So hopefully we can find a good balance between that, and we will see what the beavers have accomplished at the end of this time lapse. Okay, so I could have let that go on for a little bit longer, but I didn't want that time lapse to be too long, too quick. We managed to get, you know, all the finished food out of here, with the exception of these corn rations that are extra and this set of berries that are extra. We also have these fermented soybeans that need somewhere to go, but everything else is fine. Let's put this back on normal. So we've managed to carve out this entire part of this level here. I have, okay, well there's a tiny bit left. But I also had them coming in here to blast out around the water source blocks, and most of that has happened just fine. Okay, that has been marked. They just haven't gotten to it yet. There's a lot of, you know, straight down exploding that they have to do, and we've been running out of planks because I've been using them, and we've had to keep recycling them, and we used a lot of them to pop this in here. So that has been a work in progress. But I wanted to come back down here. And you can see now we still have all of these tubeways that have not yet been built because, guess what? They require planks, and I honestly hadn't been thinking about it that much. So this has been stalled substantially. I missed, because I had this peeled back, that we had these ready to go in terms of, you know, being demolished. So we can actually just right quick here. I didn't want to do this in a time lapse because, well, it's kind of involved, and I would have to move the camera around a whole lot more. But all of this, well, most of this here is actually planks that's just been, you know, on the ground. So I'm just going to, you know, click and drag all of the super priority whatever, and the builders are going to pick up what they can pick up. Some of this, I guess... Wait, did we... Oh, we only selected the rubble. I thought it might have ended up selecting the tunnels as well, but that's a happy accident. Very cool. So, other thing that we need to do... I guess, because of how I have this set up, I hadn't quite done this the right way. None of this layer needs to actually be built as a tunnel because there's nothing above it. I can just blast it out with regular dynamite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demolish... I can't do that. I have to do it. I have to do it the frustrating way. I have to take out the actual things manually, so I don't know, this would have been a great thing to time-lapse, but regardless. This is, you know, it just goes to show you, you gotta check everything. I'm not gonna sit here and do this entire thing, but I say as I sit here continuing to do this entire thing. It's just, I can't time-lapse everything. I can't remember everything until I start doing something else, and then it reminds me that, you know, I do have to do something else that I hadn't thought about, and that turns into this whole thing. But at the very least, that will help our situation substantially. So they can come and pick up all of this rubble. They can get their planks so they can build everything else. And then well, I don't know if everyone's going to be a happy camper, but it certainly is going to help. So the central idea behind putting all these platforms here, again, is to physically decouple source blocks from all of the land that we possibly can. These, again, do have tunnels applied to them. They can't build those yet because, well, they have to have support from below, and they don't currently. So we can kind of help that along a little bit by popping in a couple of ladders here, give them a little bit of a priority. And that should help them build that, which should help them come in from above, and so on and so forth. So we put this back up. There's a little bit left here they can't reach because this bit also does not have good access. That was the wrong button. That was supposed to be the Alt. Yeah, so this has not yet been exploded, which means it doesn't count for whatever. You can't go below it. It's a whole thing. But they're making good progress. We're going to leave them to that. And I also need to get them down below this way. And I was not entirely sure how to make that happen, so I figured it would be smart for us to go ahead and peel this back and go ahead and extend, because we already have access on this level, go ahead and extend this. And this is the correct height here. Just very, very carefully with the help of all of this stuff. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be here, and then this would be a pillar. So what's going to happen as a result of that is this is going to have some unsupported weirdness that we're going to have to go ahead and address by putting in a terrain block here, and then tying that in above, just so everything can still be connected and not be completely demolished. But again, it's one of those things, folks. I swear you guys are going to absolutely despise me by the end of this because of how many times I'm going to say it just takes time. But that's because it just does. It just does, folks. So, yeah, you know, we have the 7 in between going this direction, 5 in between going this direction when there are holes to line up. This has the ability to get expanded a tiny bit more. I'm really trying not to, you know, breach the reservoir if I can possibly help it. It's just one of those things. You already know. I already know. So there's 6 here, there's 7 there, so on and so forth. I really wish I could just copy paste layers between each other. That would be so convenient. Wait a second, did I do a stupid here? I think I did. I absolutely did. That does not need to be there. This needs to be up 1 more. Okay, glad I caught that. That would not have been a fun thing to forget about. So, yeah, you know, it's a process. It is. But I can't take that one out because that is the reservoir there. This can come to here. That can go to... Yeah, I'm going to play it safe. Gonna play it safe, and then we can come over to there. So, as you can see, this is a whole lot of planks. Our production is not really sufficient, but we don't need to keep, you know, building these giant things for planks just because we're going to use a lot of them. We can recycle a substantial quantity. That being said, I'm pretty sure we only have the single industrial lumber mill. Let's just check that real quick. And that would be correct. So it is completely ridiculous to only have one of these, as opposed to being only slightly ridiculous. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is try to find a place to stick another one of these. I don't know that that is going to be successful, because this honestly needs to be completely torn down and redone, but I don't think that's going to work. So we have access here. This is going to be the simplest way to do this. I know it's not the most perfect way, but just pop this guy right here. We have plank storage. We have log storage. This is more or less the best possible remaining place for it. And we'll just double the plank output. Again, we don't need to make a ton, but having one while we're trying to do all this, no. That is just completely insane. That is not normal behavior. This also needs to be... Oh, hey, you know what? We don't need to have this here. See, this is what you learn. It's what you learn when you come across stuff like this. Like, wow, I had this set up in a way that was disadvantageous. There's your SAT word of the day. And I'm going to choose to do it better. So we'll let them take care of that. Actually, basically this entire level needs to get brought all the way down. I think that lets them go down into there. They still haven't finished this? Sheesh. But how are we looking on the column downward? Okay. Okay, actually good. Very good. Let's peel this back out. Because remember, this is actually the correct level here. The rest of this has to get removed. The district center is also going to need to be relocated from out of here. And I don't want to do it twice in a row here. It's going to go end up probably on the top by the time we're done. But I'm not going to relocate to this quadrant. Somebody left a comment saying I don't know what a quadrant is. Okay, I don't even know how to respond to that. But district center is going to most likely make the most sense to go in this quadrant, because this is probably going to be the last one we build up. It's going to be the hardest one to do. So we will, I believe, be okay popping it right here. That is well into this side. And it is, well, not well in. It's like one block into this side, one block into the... Okay, but you get the idea. So now what we have to do... well, we don't have to pause the game, but now we can... delete that, and then we can undelete that. There's nobody working here, so that can go away as well. And now we have to name this. And I really need to make sure I spell it right. 27. It is spelled correctly. Very good. So that helps solve other problems, because now we can come up here and... Very good. Thank you. We can deal with all of these at the same time, so that can go away. Now we can stand on this level before I get rid of that. This is something I needed to fix. I needed to put in a piece of terrain there. Then I needed to pop those in, and then I have to, once that's put in place, put another piece in that. But that's really going to help. I know there's a huge mess. It is what it is. we don't have enough space to store all this stuff. Well, we're going to get there. And you peel this back, and you see these guys are technically blowing some stuff up. Everything is looking okay. We still don't have these two boys set up because, of course, we don't yet. But progress is being made. I hope this is interesting to see this broken down like this. I don't really know much of a better way to do it, besides just, you know, chopping up the video into 20-minute Gen Z digestible chunks. This is not a dig at you, Gen Z. I'm sorry. This is just the best way I know how to describe it, with everything just completely mashed up and chopped for time, attention spans, whatever. But if I did videos like that, I'd put out one video a week, and I'd probably burn out, because I really don't want to do that. I just want to have fun playing the game, and time-lapse when appropriate, because people like to see the whole process. But at any rate, they're making some nice progress here. District Center has been relocated. It is much more central, even if the path layout isn't great getting around. But we have made some very nice progress. These builders' huts are in the way. They will need to be moved. So what I'm going to do, the simplest thing at this exact moment in time, is going to be to place two more here. Get those slightly prioritized, then deprioritized as workplaces. Once those are built, we'll delete these. Campfires, again, gives us an opportunity to just put two of those there. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, because we definitely don't need it. What the heck is scrap metal doing over here? That's got to go away. Oh, okay, well, it's over here because this is where we were working with it before. That's got to go away. Medical beds, easy to go away. Tooth grindstone is going away. Don't worry, I'm going to put another one in. I know that was a thing I'd forgotten to do before, but just easily, temporarily, that can go right there. Hey, look, they're putting the... Whoa, those didn't used to have a sound. Oh, that's so cool. I love that sound. Okay, yeah, okay, we're done. But I digress. Those need to be emptied. They are being emptied. Soybeans are almost gone out of here. That's progress. Then those two can get removed. This one actually is done, so I'm just going to put it on the ground. Rest of the cake, too. Pine resin empty. Where is my other pine resin storage? Probably over here. Just in the interest of, you know, still getting some other stuff accomplished, let's put in another storage for pine resin here just so that can get removed and I don't have to worry about it later. That goes away, that goes away. Those will get removed when we actually have beavers available to do it. Those are gone. And now I still have my fingers on the wrong button. I don't need caps lock on. Looks like they've managed to still avoid doing this because so much stuff is in the queue. Let's see if we can speed this up with some more builders. Are there jobs I can trim? Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm going to need to keep making explosives. That I can't really do anything about. Let's see. Tapper Shack's kind of important. Man, I got a lot of these medical beds. I don't really need all that many. I guess, I mean, this is cassava's growing over here. We technically need those, but that's not that mission critical. I only have 4 vacancies, so it's probably not even that big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and say we're probably going to need dirt as we continue expanding this, so I shouldn't close that. But we have 5,900 water. I shouldn't pause these. I'm going to make the right choice and not do that. Oh, I don't need 20 haulers. Absolutely not. Let's deprioritize this hauling post all the way, but leave the other one alone. That will fill up. We have 3 of these builders' huts, and we have the district center, which can be brought back up to 4. And this deficit of 7 is entirely within this single hauling post. That should help speed things up just a touch. Just a little bit. And I am selfishly tired of staring at this terrain block that has not been built. So that needs to be prioritized. They can easily reach that. And it looks like this entire area here is ready to be removed. So long as everything below it is good. Let's just scroll through here real quick. Oh, look at that. All the way up to this spot here, it has been cleared. And then above this, cycle 30. Look how quickly that irrigates. Cycle 30. This is not reachable quite yet, because this was supposed to be double. Oh, and I hadn't fixed this at all. That's a double. That's a double. I said it was going to do 2 doubles and 2 singles, and then go from there. So, double, double. Single means this would have to be replaced. This would be brought out. This would not be exploded yet. So that actually would work in our fit. There's so much to do with so much to do with this. Oh man. Let's just okay, not that one yet. Just make sure this is all I'm getting. 6 I2. Okay. Good, nothing exploded. Yeah, we still need to get down here. This... Why is this so hard for me to figure out? That also does not need to get done. Okay. That hopefully only explodes that bit, or not explodes. Yeah, my brain is fried. Point being, this entire level can get taken down 1. And then at that point I can come back in and put the rest of the level back in place. So that's going to be an easy thing for us to pop in. I should go ahead before we do anything else and pop in that pillar there and that pillar there. That will make sure that we're in a decent place for having access to the correct height of terrain. That is now ready to go here. And I guess I could go ahead and just remove all of this. I'm trying not to have everything just be, oh, let's place some dynamite now, but there's a certain degree of this that I do have to just go ahead and do, if you can hang in there with me. Alright, man, I don't want to wait for these berries to get used. I'm just going to dump them on the ground, and they'll get picked up when they get picked up. Same with these corn rations. We don't have time to wait. So, now it's time to just go ahead, get these prioritized here. I know all of this is set to be picked up, but a lot of it doesn't have somewhere to go. What can we delete? I'm going to leave that in place because that just makes sense. Get rid of that. All of this, remember, needs to be brought down a level because we decided to reorganize everything. So that can be straight up removed. That's fine. Now we have to come back in with our pillars, which go there. And then this staircase is now in the way. We do need to have access to actually this exact level. That works out nicely. And I suppose, because of the way this is set up, we could go ahead and just say, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of that. It's not that big of a deal. Take this, not that rubble. I know this is absolutely tilting some of you clean freaks out here. I promise you it's going to get better eventually. That goes away. That goes away. That piece needs to actually be... Nope, I accidentally deleted something. Alright. I no longer care. We just have to get this done. Okay, that is a platform. Does that need to be removed? It does. So that can be removed. This is a platform that can be removed. That can be removed. What I have to do is I have to have stairs to go up on this level, because this is this quadrant's boundary right there. That goes in there. That needs to be terrain. So that will be placed right here. That goes away. That is fine. Then that can get blasted out, but I will go ahead and place this here. So that is completely across all the way. And now we have these middle pieces that have to go in place, and that is right here, and then it does have to join up with everything else, but I am trying my best to keep this as segmented as I can. Just take that out there. Put in one more pillar right there. I think all of this is reachable with minimal weeping and gnashing of teeth, so that should help us out substantially. The rest of this is going to have to be built in due time, and it may be kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll get it done. They have access to the bottom here. I can, unpause this now. And now all we have to do is just let it get built. So that will get put in place. I think, friends, it is time once again to pop in a time lapse, as we have several times this episode. But I hope you can appreciate just how much has to go into this, and how much time I'm having to cut out. Currently, I'm looking at the OBS recording timer. It says an hour, 12 minutes, and 45 seconds. I don't know how long the video actually is at this point. Probably at least half of this time, hopefully. But it is just a very, very, very long process. But once all of this blasting is done, we can go back in, build up what needs to be built up, and I will show you that process. And then after all of that is complete, we're going to talk about how we're going to irrigate everything. Yes, I know we have this water source next to everything, but I do need to decouple that, like we said, because of bad tides. And again, we'll talk about that when we get there, but I was going to do the same kind of thing we did in the previous episode, or I discussed in the previous episode about placing our irrigation dump area. But I'll just let future me tell you about that on the other side of this time lapse. Alright, so I had to come out of the time-lapse because this one's getting really, really long. But we are making some very good progress getting this taken care of. We're going to continue working on it, but I didn't want the time-lapse to be super long or super quick, because some people did complain about the colors changing from the sunrise-sunset stuff. And I know there's a way to disable that, but if I do that, then the whole video doesn't have it, and I still like having the day-night cycle. So instead, let's talk about what else I did during the time-lapse. You will note that that entire drought, we did not pump any lower than the 6 deep straws on these, probably because our water was already full anyway. But I went ahead and extended the rest of these pylons out to the middle of the map, where it's going to meet everything else. Obviously, this thing currently is in the middle instead, so that is what that is. But as they continue working on all of this, we'll be able to build this up, and then from that point, we'll be able to, just kind of bring the land out from there. That's something that's going to be time-lapsed in the future. Let's get this triple speed just because. But peeling this back just a little bit more, you can see just how much excavation is having to occur here, and it is a lot. They've managed to keep up with the planks a whole lot better now that we have that second thing here. There is still plenty on the ground to be picked up, but I am very happy to report that this is all the way up to where we are currently building. Completely disconnected from the water source until you get to right about here. And that, of course, is something that's going to have to just get done in due time as we get up there. But This is starting to look really good, or as good as, I guess, an approximation of a parking garage can. But I think this is going to be some really, really, really helpful stuff once we get all that taken care of. These two boys, I love that sound, are done. We just have to put in the rest of our little stations and everything. It's not something that, you know, right at this exact moment is super necessary, but I figured since this is kind of where we find ourselves, just kind of waiting on some more stuff to get done, I'm going to go ahead and actually place these in here so they can be utilized and we don't have to worry about them. I'm going to set the exit on this facing that way, and then we'll come on top with one of these. And then, obviously, they can build the rest as they are able to. But I think it's going to make the most sense to face these inside right here. Then this as well. That is the wrong building. Good job. That faces that way. There you go. This corner, I'm going to face this direction. This kind of just goes in a spiral. That's going to connect this a whole lot better. The only problem is we have these gatherer flags that are not accessible because of how we've laid this out. So what that's going to require is us coming in here and just getting rid of the trees immediately in front. And I'm just going to say we'll go 2 so there's a piece of path in between. Just go right there. We'll go right there. And these in the middle can be for gather flags. So this one here will cover basically this entire corner once we get that taken care of. Yes, we are doing that in addition to the reservoir. It's going to get all moved. We talked about that a little bit. But gather flag here, gather flag here. More toward the middle we'll have the lumberjacks, and then this one right here I guess can just kind of be open. I didn't really need to have this taken care of, but there's a lot going on. I'm adding to the amount of stuff that these guys can do as they have the ability to get additional tasks accomplished while we wait for all of this. But let's talk real quick just about how this is going to work. Obviously they can't build it yet. Well, I mean they can, it's just they're not going to. We have to build the pillars first before we can build out. So the minimum height we can build these two without having to build anything out, or to get to build other stuff out. I'm sorry, it's been a very long day. It's currently 11:20 p.m. But we have to get to the 3 high because that is what these build off to the side from. We can continue building these all the way up with the help of the ladders, and then from there start to build out. I think that is probably going to be the better way to go about doing it. So the height that we are trying to get to currently, remember 2, 2, 1, 1. And then on top of that, we'll have another piece of dirt, which will put us at one more above this level, level 14. So we need to build up to level 14. So that is going to be a real simple thing for us to just go ahead and get that. I think that is that level 14? Looks like it sure is. Cool. So shaving a haircut on all of these, which is hilarious. I did not plan that. Or you just, you know, that, and then you're done. Obviously, these guys have to continue going up as well. That looks like about right. So, oh, that's too much. I'm not even from Minnesota. Why do I say that? So, 4 on those that are already here. And then these guys all have to go up 1. Obviously, that's not reachable quite yet. But it's a good idea to just have this. I think I might have counted incorrectly. No? Cool. Got that exactly perfect. And there's one more right here in the middle. Yes, I do remember that we have access to the X functionality. And that is going to be tremendous. Come on, get that thing out of the way. There we go. I knew I had that number correct. So that should take care of everything, minus this little tiny corner piece right here, which is going to have to go away. And that looks like that's back down to the ground. A couple more here. And there you go. We got all the pylons in place, minus this one that I conveniently forgot. Now we have all the pylons in place. Look at that. Look at them go. Look at them go. except for this one that I conveniently forgot. But I'm not going to raise that one up quite yet because I remember we are trying to decouple this entirely, and that is probably the highest I can go without anything else bad happening. So, again, this is going to be something that takes a very long time. They did manage to build all of this, and this does need to get exploded, so we'll just go ahead and beef or boom that. Not that they can really do too much about it. But now what we have to do, once they get these ladders in place, which are going to be their own thing, I guess I should have done that. This is also something I could time-lapse, but I don't trust myself to do it correctly, so we will just pop this in here real quick. Not all of these are going to be easily accessible, which is why I'm popping ladders in on every single one, and we can just keep on building as things progress. Like, this is a very, very long building process. Like, let me be abundantly clear here. This is probably way too much to be squeezing into a single episode, just as a function of what is reasonably possible. But I don't like giving up on stuff, and I very much am interested in getting all of this taken care of as expediently as possible. That being said, there is a limit to what can reasonably be achieved before an episode gets too long, even with time lapses. So right now, we're time-lapsing, as you can see, waiting to get a couple more things taken care of down below, and then hopefully they can start building those pillars. We should have enough dirt, and we should be able to replenish the dirt quickly enough where we're not going to run out of whatever. But I'm going to have to evaluate at that point whether or not we can continue building out the rest of the dirt. I don't want to do cuts. I don't want to time-lapse too quickly either. But I did say earlier in the episode my goal was to get all of the terrain work done, and then I think I said something about, you know, wanting to actually plant things. But we may have to push that to the next episode. Just depends on how it goes. And, of course, the longer I talk in these time lapses, then the slower the actual time lapse itself is. But I'm not trying to pad for time, so we'll go ahead and just wrap this up, see what they've managed to get accomplished, and move on from there. Alright, let's come out of this time lapse again. I'm sorry, I know, but it's too hard to try and build this without moving the camera. But we did start on our 2-high layer here. Obviously, it's hard to construct from scaffolding and just these pillars, but they are making some very good headway here. This area, also these are in place, but this area is, I'm going to go ahead and say, done in terms of structure. So let's very carefully peel this back and start the process of removing all of the rest of these things here. I don't know why they haven't built this yet. It's very strange, but the rest of this, it's showing logs. Why is it showing logs? Anyway, that's just planks. That's fine. That will, I'm actually kind of afraid to hit that. Oh, it's the stairs. Okay. I'll tell you what. It's easier to see here what you're actually getting rid of. That works. Scared me for a second when it didn't actually connect, but okay. What is the deal with this? Why has that been just ignored this entire time? It's connected, right? Yeah. It's all connected. Alright. Just grab that. That is the wrong one. That's the one I wanted to get rid of. Along with that, and along with those. These also have still not been done. I guess it's just that much behind, I guess, maybe? Well, regardless, like I said, this is a very, very, very involved process. Might have been kind of dumb for me to try and, you know, time-lapse most of this anyway, but I am nothing if not a glutton for punishment, it seems. So let's just continue on getting rid of all of this stuff. Again, we have to keep this around the core here because that's supporting everything. So that's looking good. And now we take this up another level. And these two, minus what I already discussed. Oh, I managed to miss a little bit. Glad we caught that. Wait, why can that not... Oh, that would get rid of supports. See, this is hard. there's so much going on. So much going on that we can't possibly, you know, get everything correct. But This bit does need to go away with dynamite. I think it's probably just going to be easiest for us to blast this entire, all of this out and just, you know, be done with it. Make it easier for everyone involved. As long as I don't empty anything, I shouldn't be afraid of that, but I'm just not going to blow that one up. But before this gets detonated, we're in a good position to lay the rest of this layer here. You see how impossible this would have been during a time lapse, trying not to move the camera. Well, okay, not all of this, but a very, very good portion of this can be built without putting any other stuff in place. As long as I put in these, I guess we can call them fingers, coming out from all of these pylons here. Some of these, of course, do still have to be actually built, but it's not going to be that big of a deal once they can, you know, get underneath to the correct degree, which they should be able to walk on most of this. And once all of these fingers are in place, then it should be a pretty straightforward thing to fill in the rest. It just becomes a little hard when you're not exactly sure what the layout of stuff is set, and you got a lot to keep up with trying to get everything accomplished in one episode. But I think we should be, again, of course, assuming that everything can get connected appropriately, should be looking pretty good. Remember, I did say we're going to try our very best to get all of this taken care of in this one episode, and I don't know how much of a terrible mistake that was, but this now is... It's so hard to see. And this computer is blasting out extremely hot air. Alright, so that is one, that is two. That gets connected there, and then we're in a couple of spots here where I'm going to have to get rid of these ladders as long as we can actually access everything from here. So I guess, like, I know I'm going to end up time-lapsing a bunch of stuff again, but I want to demonstrate to you guys that there's still stuff that we need to take care of. It just has to have some sort of reasonable method by which we can accomplish the goal. So we have ladders coming up here. I think even though this needs to be blasted down, let's go ahead and, for the sake of what we were attempting to do, put a ladder going into this layer from the end all the way up there. I know it's not necessarily the best way to make that happen, but now this is super prioritized. It should get built. These ladders should get built, then they can build from that. And then once they reach this area here and they get most of everything built, this should really start to fall into place. And again, I cannot promise everything is going to be absolutely picture perfect, super fast or anything like that, but we are going to get it done. And we're just going to have to, you know, take it as it comes. There's only so many tiles that can be placed without having to come in here and do all sorts of other weird nonsense, so just bear with me. We'll get it done. We'll get something done. Whether or not it's it, I guess, remains to be seen. This right here, remember, is the barrier of our quadrant. So we do need to have this connected through all of this. The ladder's kind of in the way. But the beavers are just going to have to do their best. And you know how it goes. So yet again, it is time-lapse time. I'm, again, trying very hard to get this stuff all put in here. And currently we're at 2 hours, 18 minutes, 27 seconds on the recording. I do not know how long the video will be at this point, but I think we've done enough recording of time-lapsing. We're probably at this point right around the 50-minute mark is going to be my guess. I guess if I was super wrong, you can let me know about that, but well, there's actually no need for you to do that. We're just going to let them do what they can do, get stuff accomplished, and continue moving on from there. Hopefully, at the end of this one, we'll have most of the rest of this taken care of. Alright, hate to break out of the time-lapse again. I promise we're getting somewhere, but I can't believe I figured this, or didn't figure this out sooner. The main hang-up I'm having with getting the land put in is the beavers cannot, well, I guess they're also builders. The beaver builders cannot build 3 blocks above their head. Or I guess technically 2 blocks above their head, assuming their head is 2/3 of the way up. Anyway, it's it's going to be necessary for us to have a platform for them to walk on from which to place dirt above them. But it's become complicated, and I'm going to have to live play a decent portion of this at this point, or else it's just going to be terrible. So let's first peel back here, because what I've done is I've placed a dynamite on all of these things that need to be removed. Going to go ahead and beaver boom this. Get that taken care of there. And then I'm going to have to very carefully check and make sure there's no beavers on here, and they can't get on here. So we're going to demolish this slope, and then I can blow all of this up, and that's going to make it so that they can reach this entire level here. And more importantly, this will be quote-unquote complete. And then once that's taken care of, since all of this is already here, I'm pretty sure I should be able to put this as, yeah, what gives? Why can't I get rid of that? There's no reason why it should not be letting me do that. That really doesn't make any sense. Now I'm kind of concerned I may have messed something up, but I just don't see... I mean, I guess... Oh, you know what it is? It's because it has no support. You know what's really funny is I probably actually said those exact... Yep. I said those exact words earlier. I can almost... Oh, come on. I can almost guarantee you I said those exact words earlier, and now I've forgotten those, so... enjoy that, I suppose. We'll take those 7 out. That's going to be something they have to get to once everything is destroyed. But it is time for Beaver Boom. All in one fell swoop. How about that? So we've got a couple more of these that need to go away. This here is a ladder that goes up to this level, but it does not actually connect to anything anymore. So that is easy for us to go ahead and get rid of. And then once that... I'm not worrying about saving all these planks. Once that's gone, then we can pop in a dynamite there. That'll take care of that. And that will bring us... I almost thought I did a terrible misplacing of pillars, and I would have to start over, and I was going to be very angry. But no, we're good. This is all set, ready to go. I guess they weren't able to build... No, they were able to build. They just don't have a path. So let's do that. I need to make sure that this can be fully separated. The problem is this needs to be demolished before it can be rebuilt, because it's a one tall thing. And I need to make sure, okay, that was already planned on being removed, so I know underneath it is going to be fine as well. So that will be fine right there. That can go away as well. So can this. So can all of this. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's staying above it. There's nothing that could possibly cause us any more problems. Get that popped in there, with the exception of this piece, which needs to be a pillar. And that should get us finally fully separated from all of this, because these are not technically... Actually, I bet the game counts this as touching. Oh, okay. Well, then to solve that problem, I can just take that out as well. Not that they can reach that, but that's about the size of where we are now. They have access to all of this. They just need to have the materials brought in. And now, see, this is why I came out of the time lapse, because there's so much assembly that has to occur with cameras rotating, because there's only so much that it can actually let me do at once without rotating the camera. I can't snap the dirt behind a block. That's just not how this game works. So it'll let me build that one, it'll let me build that one, and then I can get to... Okay, so that should pretty much take care of itself. The problem... There's many problems, but this one is mine. That does not need to be there. This ladder also needs to go away, but before we get rid of it, we have to figure out where it goes and if it's serving a purpose. Technically, yes, it is serving a purpose. It goes down here. I don't think we need to worry about it that much. But remember, we do still have to connect all of this. And again, you can see, hopefully, very easily why I have to do this way, and I can't just, you know, do it the other way. So this should allow me to continue popping these pieces in here. I know it is not the most glamorous process on the history of the face of the earth, but it is necessary, and it is making this stuff possible. So then we get to this area here where we're going to have to do some removal of ladders, but before we remove any ladders, we have to make sure they can get up here, and it looks like they can. I know it's a roundabout way of moving these guys around, and it might not make sense to you, but we just have to do it. Now, I think we should be able to access pretty much everything here. So if I just remove the entire ladders, we may have to rebuild at some other point in the future, but I am 90% sure all of this is going to be just fine. I have to have access to all of the sides of all of the pillars to be able to put all of the dirt back in. Or not back in this case, just in. Oh, I didn't get rid of that one. Okay, I guess I was afraid I was going to remove something else, but this can very, very easily get taken out here. And then that there. I just have to make sure the arrows don't cause me problems. Just because it's very easy to get yourself into kind of an unbuildable scenario where nothing is going to allow you to proceed because of the way the arrows are set up. So the reason this is too wide is because that is the center where our quadrants meet. That is why I had that popped in there. This can go away, as can this. Now that opens us up here to all sorts of fun problems that I actually just caused by doing that. That was a stupid mistake. Stuff. I'm going to have to put 3 ladders back in here just so we can place this terrain block. But once that happens, and we can get around to all the other sides, this should... I mean, obviously not the corner here that we had to take out for the forester at the bottom. But once that's taken care of, that should connect. I actually should have built more of these platforms, but we'll do that in a second. We have tons of these. Tons of those planks, so that should take care of itself to a certain extent. That can easily go here. That'll allow me to connect to that. And the backside by this dam is going to be a problem because you can't attach terrain to the side of dirt. So there's going to be some gaps here. It's just gonna be annoying for a little bit, but we will get through it. Shouldn't be too terribly difficult, but there are going to be parts... I can't see because of this stupid thing. There are going to be parts of this that aren't going to show up as placeable because there is nothing for them to suspend themselves from. Good lord, could you imagine me trying to do this during a time lapse? This is just not... it's not working. So that hopefully is going to be placeable. This platform does not need to be here. I don't know why that's there. I'm sure there's a reason for it. It's probably because I excavated it when it didn't really need to be excavated. But I digress. Nope, that does not need to be there. So just bits and pieces, slowly making this take shape. There's other stuff that we can blow up just as soon as they're finished with all of this. I think currently they're still placing all of these here, and I guess I should probably let them finish that. But you can see just... again, it's these arrows, man. The arrows are not letting me play nice here. I'm going to have to... I'm going to have to take that out, but I can't because that's there. Now, no, I can't take that out. Now I can't take that out. Now I can't take that out. Now I can't take... What kind of backwards fill in the blank here is this? Alright. If I say anything else about the arrows, people are going to descend upon me with the fury of 1,000 suns. So, I'm going to choose not to. It just... register my complaint as this is a very annoying thing to do. I think I have all the rest of this set up more or less about as good as it can be. Okay, what I'm about to do may seem kind of stupid. Feel free to flame me, but I think it's going to be the easiest way to do this, is just to place platforms over the entire thing, because then they can just stand underneath and do absolutely everything all at once. As long as they can access with the help of a ladder or something, it's going to be possible. I don't want to time-lapse yet because there's still some other stuff that needs to get taken out so I can be absolutely sure. How is this not marked for a... Why can I not take that out? Is it because it's not been done the level below it? No, that has. No, it has not. This needs... How did that not have platforms there? Okay, well that answers that question. That's going to make this so much easier. So as long as this becomes actually completely physically decoupled, we're in good shape. We have bad water here. We have bad water here. Do we have bad water down here? No, we don't. So I guess we've already done it. Okay. I honestly was not expecting that to work at this exact point in time, so I guess we can take... Ah, there it goes. There it goes. I knew it was too good to be true. So that's done. I think... Ah, aha. It's here too. Okay. How quickly we forget. That is going to be kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get into this. I might have to... hate to say this. Might have to put in yet another... yet another ladder over here. To get in here and do all of that. So, it looks like, for the most part, this is kind of taken care of. Still waiting on these ladders to get built, and then of course we have to come in up here. But now I have a vested interest in getting this complete separation taken care of. I don't think anything else... you know what? No, it's still... I don't know why I can't get this through my head. It still has to be completely disconnected on every layer that touches dirt. And then we have this up here too, which is very clearly not helping. So I think what's going to happen is this entire layer... I know someone has been just like yelling this at their monitor the entire time. This entire layer has to completely go. So we know that's going to be fine. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. That is just how it's going to have to go, and that should finally, assuming that is decoupled, which it is not, and I am going to scream. That's fine. That's fine. Everything is fine. I promise it's fine. I'm lying to myself. It's not fine, but that look. It's 12:17. I've been recording this almost 3 hours. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Maybe this will be referenced in my Descent to Madness documentation, but I think at this point, the only thing that I can do, first of all, not put a platform on top of that. The only thing I can do is put a ladder up here so they can access this area. Go ahead and start the process of getting this all put back in place, and then it's gonna probably be time-lapse time, folks. But just know I am trying... That was in the complete wrong spot. I am trying very hard to get this to make sense in a way that is not completely stupid. So, that will come there. That'll come there. That'll come there. The hardest part is getting this just out of nowhere framework taken care of. Especially in a scenario where you're building a couple blocks above. It has to be rotated. But we are making still some very good progress. Even if it's just me rotating the camera every 3 seconds and saying empty platitudes into a microphone like people are actually still listening to this. Well, they're not empty platitudes, they're just like cliches. I could have worded that a whole lot better. But now that that is in place, just got to get a little bit more. And then, in theory, I can just drag everything straight out across, and it should being the operative term, that's the wrong spot, should let me get everything taken care of because they can build from below. So that can come that way, that can come that way, And that is probably everything I'm going to be able to do. Can I get this on the same level? I can't see because the dam is in the way, and then I got the annoying pump sounds, and I'm losing my brains. There we go. Get that done that way. That's out. That is going to be out very soon. Okay, so then, now that they can get from underneath, I should be able to just like that. Drag that out. That is the extent that that is going to allow me to operate. That is the extent that that is going to allow me to operate until I have other pillars put in place. And then I just have to squeeze in one more here. And then I have to come around from this other side. And it's not going to let me, is it? Okay. No, that's actually correct. That's good. So that would be the last of our 2 high layers. And then, of course, all of this madness has to happen again. Oh, they haven't even finished this ladder yet. Okay, well, we'll let them do that, and then I can blow that up. And while we are looking at that, yes, you guessed it, it's time for even more of this. So, I hope everybody's having a good day. I know I am. I'm having a blast. So, while we're doing this, I'm not going to time-lapse this quite yet, but I figured this would be a good time to ask... Okay, did I do that wrong? No. Well, not ask if I did that wrong. It would be a good time to ask what your thoughts are on how this series is being produced. Like, are you like enjoying having all this condensed? Would you rather me just do it all in real time because there's just so many time lapses? Do you want more time lapses? Or like whatever. Like I'm not going to know unless you tell me. I'm kind of dense like that. Story of my life. But did I did. I put these in the wrong spot. It just this works a whole lot better when we have nice open communication. I do always try to strive for that. So again, any opinions you have, even if your opinion is that I'm a complete bumbling idiot, please let me know, because you know sometimes I'm not going to notice these things, and it is really the most helpful way to affect change and make sure that everything is going to be able to be taken care of correctly. I need to make sure that that is the same level. Still looking pretty okay. Yeah, there's so much construction here. I cannot time-lapse this. There's absolutely no chance. If you guys are dissatisfied on the whole, not like one person's really mad, I'm gonna do what everybody wants. But if you are dissatisfied on the whole of how this is being handled, then I'm gonna do my best to try and figure out how to fix that issue. But I am doing the best with what I have access to. And I do appreciate your patience, understanding, etc., so on and so forth, as we continue working on all of this. So that, again, they can stand on the level below. That should be fine to take care of the next level. Remember, I'm trying to do 2 levels of 2 and 2 levels of 1. That was the goal for today. This will be the second level of 1. It just doesn't have a top on it. So that goes in there, that goes in there. Does it have to be built out this way because there's something underneath it? Probably not. But I really don't want to spend a whole bunch of time trying to troubleshoot all of this while we have other stuff we need to take care of. So that is going to go in that way, that's going to go in that way, that's going to go in that way. That should cover most of this. And since they can build from underneath, I don't think we're going to run into issues with the arrows. If we do, then I'm going to very quietly, with my microphone muted, say some choice words to myself and not you guys. And then we will move on from there. But this is just about as much as I can do without them removing the rest of these other pieces here. So, it's your favorite time once again. We're going to time-lapse the ever-loving... Put your favorite word in here of this and do our very best to at least have the landmass complete. And then that will be the end of the episode. There's no chance we can build anything else on this. We just got to get this taken care of. So enjoy the more beavers scrambling around and trying to get stuff done. I know we're very low on planks. That is a problem that will resolve itself very soon. In fact, by the time I'm saying this in the time lapse, it's probably already done. But I am currently looking at the plank storage at hovering between 6 and 7, just immediately dropping as soon as one is produced. It's going to be okay. We'll get through this. The hard part is almost done for this one corner, and then I just have to do it 3 more times. But I digress. We're going to see just how this looks completely finished, and then we're going to say goodbye. Oh boy, I've been recording for over 4 hours now, and it's finally just about done. Last piece. Oh, come on, you coward. Finish that. But yeah, this is 4 hours of progress today has gotten us to this. I guess there's still a couple little tiny things to take care of. Just to beef or boom all that mess. Then get rid of these guys here if I can click correctly. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, this video is going to be super long at this point. I'm, like, thoroughly convinced. But we have the lower tree area, 2 that are 2 tall, 1 that is 1 tall, and 1 that is open but will be 1 tall after we put another top piece on it. But, you know, aside from the little bit of the reservoir here, I'm going to call this quadrant, for all intents and purposes, finished in terms of terrain until we figure out what else we're doing. We managed in this 4 hours of mostly time-lapsing play to get to 112 beavers. We do have some homeless. I did end up pausing one of these advanced breeding pods. I built 3 during the course of this episode, or a net gain of 3, because I did relocate everything else. So I'm not worried about the homeless. I'm not worried about the unemployed. That'll take care of itself. And our food situation is a little precarious, but that is mostly due to the population just absolutely skyrocketing and not really being super prepared for that. The corn is not an issue. I think it's an issue of supply. So I'm going to have these 2 buildings prioritized. We do not have many eggplants at all, and I think that is probably because we've just been consuming a whole lot more of them. I also, when I took all this stuff out, I did not replace all these fermenters. We have 1 doing cassavas. Oh, there's only 2 doing cassava, and none doing... Okay, well, I don't have that many soybeans anyway. How in the world did that happen? What did I... Oh, okay, this one's doing soybeans. Okay, so we're actually... Yeah, we're kind of okay. But food fixes will have to be addressed next episode because I am beyond out of time to record this. So this is where we're going to end this. I really, really appreciate you guys watching these videos and giving me some good ideas, good feedback. So now I'm asking you again. I mentioned it during the time lapse, but do you like this amount of time lapsing during an episode? Because I'm going to be honest, I do not have time every day to spend 6 hours making a video. Even though this is quote-unquote my primary job at this point, I do have other things I absolutely must attend to. So this is probably an outlier in terms of actual time spent making one video. I don't want to split this up into multiple videos just because I feel like it flows a whole lot better if I do one sitting, one video. It's just easier for me to parse my mind that way. But please do let me know your thoughts. It's not always going to take this long to get stuff done. It's just really hard to build terrain. Like, the wood stuff is easy. But the terrain specifically, because of the order in which we have to place the terrain blocks on top of other terrain blocks and cantilever them out from all this other stuff, it is a very laborious process. So just keep that in mind. But I really do appreciate you. Beard Boosters, you see the names on the screen scrolling by. Those folks make it possible by subsidizing the videos, subsidizing me, the channel, etc. So I don't have to go seek out sponsors or try to chase algorithms or put out the 20-minute brain rot edits or whatever. I just want to have fun playing the game and enjoying a little bit of relaxing and interacting with you guys in the comments in a positive and uplifting community because the world needs more of that. That's what I want to do. I don't want to chase the other people. I've wanted to make videos like the other people. I would be the other people, but I'm me, and I want to do this stuff this way, and we can have fun because that's just how I like it. Anyway, it is 1:15 a.m. I have to edit this. I have to upload it, and I have to go to bed. But I really appreciate you once again. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we will see you in the next video where we have so much more stuff to discuss. And I know you guys are already commenting about it. I think I can anticipate some of it. We're going to talk about it next time. But we'll see you later. Bye-bye.